Welcome everyone to Trade Review Thursday. Today is December 15th, 2022. And what else can I say? Let's get into it. So here we have Amazon. And I'm going to break down exactly my thought process throughout this trade. So here we have this beautiful igniting bar in negative position. And according to the statistics, this bar, a bar like this, an igniting bar like this in this location, should produce an 80% follow through. After a bar like this, according to OV, 82% of the time you should get follow through, right? However, in this case, it didn't. So if it's not going to break down, it's possible that it can pull back to the MAs or completely reverse. I don't know, right? So let me actually erase. Okay, so there you go. And now let's move on to the 2-minute chart, this one right here. So what you see here, this orange line, this is the VWAP. The gray line is the 8 simple period moving average, and the blue line is the 20 simple period moving average. So what I want to see is a trigger above the 8MA and VWAP with enough price distance to the 20MA for an easy double. I need to have an easy double, right? For example, so if my risk is 20 cents, I need to have an easy 40 cents to the nearest resistance point, which in this case would be the 20 simple period moving average. So here it is. Here's the breakdown. So I seen this big red bar on the 5-minute. I'm expecting follow through. I'm not gonna dive into it. It's just I don't do well on gaps, and after yesterday, the Fed meeting, I just left it alone. I'm gonna let the open do its thing, and I'll see what happens. And I noticed that Amazon failed to follow through on the big igniting bar. Established a low here. Tried it again. Failed one more time. Now we got a higher low. So we have this block of price action. If we clear that, if we clear this block of price action, I want to go long, right? But again, it has to be over VWAP and the 8MA. So boom, took the trade. So what I did, I entered above VWAP and gave it under the hold number. So I believe my stop was at 97. So that was my stop there. Went back too much. Okay, here we go. So it was 88.97. That was my stop. And what happened here, this was a very small winning play. What I did here was I had orders at 62, 63, 64, and 66. I only got filled on the 62, and it pulled back immediately and dinged me out break even on the remaining of my share. So a very small win, nothing significant, but decent trade. My next trade was MU, and I actually tried this twice, and same concept, right? However, MU did have follow through. Look at the same type of bar that we seen on Amazon, MU had. However, the difference between MU and Amazon, MU produced follow through. Boom, nice igniting bar in negative position. And if you look at the 15, there's absolutely nothing in the way. All right, so the same concept here. However, we had the follow through, we had the push down, establish a low, right? Let's move that over. There you go. Move that over. We pull back a little bit, failed to make a new low, right? Market law number 4, failed to make a new low. So now I'm looking for the same thing. However, with MU, my target would be the 20 simple period moving average on a 5. This is the what I want to see. I want to see my entry over VWAP, and I gave it the bar. I gave it this bar here. This was my stop. Make that a little thicker. And target was over the whole number, 13, 14. We got to 91. That was my break even. Actually, I think it went to 93 exactly. 91 was my break even point, pulled back and took me out. All right. So I tried it one more time And the same concept happened here. We had the drop, failed to make a new low, higher low, higher high, pulled back, made a higher low. So now I'm expecting a higher high. All right, I'm expecting a higher high. However, that's not what I got, but I got this bar, right? And what I want to point out is this bar actually cleared. Look how many this bar cleared. 1, 2, 3, almost 4 bars, right? So let me take the top of this bar and move it to the left, and you can see that it cleared all of this price action. All right, so I give it another shot. Give it another shot above VWAP. Break even was around the pivot here, 93. It didn't even make it there, and it took me out under the pivot where my stop was placed. You can see right there. And that was trade 1 and 2 on MU. So now for my final trade, which was Amazon, and this one worked beautifully. All right, and this was the best trade of the day here. So Amazon, I tried the long, didn't work. All right, we tried the long over the pivot, didn't work. Kind of consolidated here till about almost 11 o'clock. All right, we're just hanging around this area, this price range. MA's caught up. Right, we got the 8 MA right here, got the 20 MA, not too far from the 8. All right, very little distance. And I personally have a bad track record with breakouts. So now if I want to take a play on the break of the low, usually I don't do well taking the first bar that breaks. All right, just my experience. I track my trades, and perhaps I'll do a video showing you my journal in the future. So I don't do well on these plays. So what I do now is I wait for the break. Right, I wait for the break, in which we got the break under the low, but now I want a narrow range bar. Right, could be a GBI, could be a slight little pullback to the 8, whatever it is. I need a narrow range bar to play off, and I didn't get it on the 5, but I got it on the 2. And I actually want to zoom in what I was looking for, and I got it. Most of the time I don't even get this. Most of the time this doesn't happen. A lot of the times this, the stock would break under the consolidation level, and it would just go without me. All right, but this time it worked out perfectly. So there's the break right there, and here is the narrow range bar that I played off. That's it right there. Now I know you can see this little tail that popped above. However, that happened before the trigger, right? So since that happened before the trigger, my stop is above that little tail. So here it is. Here's my entry above that bar. Here's my entry below that bar, and here is my stop above my entry bar. And there you have it. So boom, I'm into the trade. Break even was 88.29 was my break even point. So that was around, I actually think it was around here, right around here somewhere. This was when I slapped break even on. So break even at 1-to-1, hold number target. Okay, so I keep break even on after I take my profit until I can start trailing off the 8 simple period moving average. All right, and I'm trailing off the 8, I'm trailing off the 8. And once we made this pivot, let me show you. Once we made it, wowie. Once we made this pivot, I just put my stop there, right? And this is something my mentor pointed me out, which is very lucky to have this man guiding me. He said you have to pay attention, right? You have to pay attention to what moving average the stock is obeying. All right, sometimes the stock will obey the 20, sometimes the stock will obey the 8. In this case, as you can see, let me show you this, the stock is obeying the 8. All right, after the breakdown, the stock is moving with the 8. It had one near contact right here, so you can see that the 20 is irrelevant. All right, the 8 is in charge. Instead of doing the break of the 8, I kept it at the pivot and got out above the pivot, which really should have been above this bar. All right, that's really where my stop should have been, a break of the 8, since Amazon is obeying the 8. Focus on which in May the stock is obeying. In this case was the 8. And that's that. That was my 4 trades, 2 on MU, 2 on Amazon, and really only 1 really worked well. So hope you enjoyed this video, hope you found some value in it, and I'll try to be more efficient on the next video. This is just my first experiment with Trade Review Thursdays, so hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.